Hey, what's up? Good afternoon, y'all. Facebook told me I can't go live on the group, but I'm here with my girl Peaches from Atlanta. I ain't gonna say that. Peaches down in Georgia. Oh, yeah, you know I'm
Hey everybody.
gonna do that. I got Ashley sharing the show to the group, so we ain't gonna know who's viewing or whatever because
Right.
Facebook is player hating on my brother. They told me I can't go live. I'm up here trying to override it.
I
I
wonder if
think,
you could I gave you admin privileges to Peach Talk page, so I don't know if you able to add it there.
let me see if I can. I had a destination. I don't know if I want to do that right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna wait. Why you didn't tell me that? We talked before the show. You didn't tell me that
I it slipped my mind because I was yeah.
because I know a lot of people on Peach Talk. They go back and forth.
Because
Peach Talk.
I ended up having to like take you off and putting you back on because you said remember the last time you couldn't. But anyway, neither here nor there.
Yeah. Well, so today's show, people. Last time we was talking about are men ready to be husbands, and that was a good show, good topic. Um, now is are women ready to be wives? Another good show. What you think about that?
Well, just like we were talking about before the show, it's this new wave of women that are strictly supposedly modern, which honestly, I think that them providing themselves with that modern title is actually a hindrance to those who are actually modern women, but also still, you know, serve in the traditional sense of partnership. And it's this city girl act, this you know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where it's almost like people want their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. People want their cake and eat it too. And I tried to comment. Facebook is just hating. Anyway, so I got a video I'm gonna share later on the show. I think you heard some of it in the background. And it's not no knock at women. When people some women who take this personal, they think it's a knock at them. They say women are the problem. They're not talking about all women. They're not speaking for all women. It's that generation is coming up who I think I said before the show, they don't cook, they don't clean, they have no sense of anything. So the guys are coming up, man, the men ain't no better, but the guys are coming up, this is they're exposed to now. Because the guys are coming up like this is women. Not like my aunt, my grandma, you know.
But we also have to be careful about how we compare now to then. And that's the thing too, I think is has been a problem on both sides where, we're trying to compare where women didn't have the capabilities to work or provide for that, like they weren't it was almost restrict well it was restricted for us to even have bank accounts. So now that there is a change in how things are ran, um I do think that that plays a role in why women are will feel a certain way and why we keep bumping heads with men.
Well, here's the thing too. This I hear women say this. This is the only reason why I can actually make this comment. Your degrees don't get you a man.
Mhm.
99 women. Your degrees do not get you a man. I'm up here looking at I'm trying to see that she said she shared the show live. Okay, she got it. I was about to say, where's that? But your degrees don't get you a man. Women look at like, oh, I got this, I got that, I got that, I got this, you know. But what do you offer? Like a man, a good man is not worried about like how many degrees you got, how successful you are, whatever, blah blah blah. I don't think that's what a real man will ask. A real man is more like, how do you take care of business? You know what I'm saying? Can you have fun? You know what I'm saying? What's your personality? It's like you can have a doctor's degree, you can be a attorney, whatever you want to be. But like I told you, if your personality is shitty and you're a shitty person, you're a shitty person.
Right.
4 degrees equal shittiness. It's for real. It's like that doesn't even matter. And I think that, like you say, I'm gonna respond to what you said about jobs, like back then and now. If you know that the world right now, as you see today, a two income households don't, because
Mm,
the economy is like, you see gas prices, you see food prices splurging. I
right,
mean, it's making middle class people who's doing well off, like it's making them like, damn, they started to pinch the pennies, pinch the dollar. I mean, so right now you kind of need both the man and woman to work unless you're rich. It
right,
depends on the lifestyle you live in. Somehow you see couples make it work, but you need that. That's the difference between back then. We was getting gas like what shit back in the day, like shit, $1 some change, 98 cents, and there. Man, imagine if gas prices was like that right now. Now I'll be fucking just going to get a full tank of gas, just go somewhere just because.
right.
But now we talking about $5 a gallon. So you're right. You see how things change now. It's basically forced the woman into the workforce, especially some lower class families and even middle class. Because middle class, even lower class, you can go out, work a few jobs, and take care of home.
But
Now,
but you know what? I asked the question about, knowing that now the average home requires two people, a two-person income. How is it that women are still subjected to, or rather required to do the same things as a traditional wife used to as to today. Now, you, Jay, on the other hand, I know that you're the type of man that would actually, even if you're out working, you're gonna come home and help rear the children. You're gonna cook. You're gonna clean when you can, right?
right.
A lot of men aren't doing that. I even had someone to tell me that they made six figures, right? Um, the lower end of six figures, but still six figures, right?
Right.
And I explained to them, well, right now it's just you and your kids, but me coming in, that's adding more
To
on
the
your plate. So there's no way we would be able to. I mean, we can live comfortably on the six figures, but for you to say, well, I'm giving you a choice not to work, so I shouldn't be required to do anything when I come home.
not in this market.
Yeah,
The lower end of six figures, that the way the inflation works,
right,
six figures down to like 70 G's. You know what I'm saying? The way
right.
inflation work today. But I think that, so here's the thing.
I
Men are requiring, like you said, how can women have to work? How can men require to do all these things? And that's where the sacrifice come in. Like you just said, you gotta sacrifice. Man, gotta like put in the hand. You gotta come together as a team. The world changed. The world
And I
changed.
think that's where a lot of the disconnect is. I do know that there are now a newer generation of women where they feel like they don't have to do anything. More so because parents aren't teaching their daughters how to cook anymore. Parents aren't teaching their daughters how to build a home like make a house a home anymore. Like, I honestly can say, like, you know even though I didn't necessarily, my mom didn't take me arm in arm, to show me how to cook. I still watched over her. I still look. You don't have that type of incentive with these new up and coming women anymore. Like, they don't have the incentive to want to make homes because they are so stuck in the mindset of, oh, I'm independent. I don't need no man. But then by the time you get all these accolades, then you're looking for a man because that's the only thing left that you have to accomplish. And
Right.
so at that point, either the good men are taken, or no one wants to deal with your bull crap because you're now, you know, trying to be the man in the situation because you've been in that masculine energy for so long. And I'm guilty of it. Like, but I will tell you this: any man that has ever encountered me has encountered a softer side of me. Like, you'll see me on social media, you're like, oh, she handling business, oh, she independent, she don't need no man. But I promise you, you get in my presence and my arms broke, I can't lift a finger. Y'all be seeing me build stuff on IG and all that. But when the man is around, oh baby, I can't lift that. Can you lift that for me? I, I will go into my feminine state real quick. Do you hear me?
Hey, so it's funny you say that. So like too much masculinity. So I know you like the builder, you build shit, whatever. But it'd be nice when you have a man to like, hey, look at my oil
I
change.
would love to do it and together too.
Together.
Projects like that. I would love to do that together, but I never really encounter a man, even with men, they don't want to get their hands dirty anymore. Like
I get my hands dirty. I just gotta have us dirty clothes to get them dirty. So, but it's cool if you could like coincide and like work together as a team and build stuff and do stuff. It's all part of being like open minded. But like you said, mention too much masculinity. Some women have it's two different types, right? You got the women that has too much masculinity because they've been used to doing everything on their own. They've been used to doing this. They've used to doing that. They've got all this masculinity, right? Because you've been doing it for so long. You ain't need no man, right?
right.
So then you have the other group of women who's been like doing it for so long, but they are waiting for a guy to come and surrender. Like I think Erica just said it. I know that's right. Surrender
Hmm?
real quick in the presence of male energy. Like you just said, when you come around, oh, I can't lift this. I can't
Oh,
lift that. You
damsel in distress.
know? So you can't do that. So it's like but then you got the other step, right? This is the women I'm talking about. So you got the women, y'all ready to be submissive, whatever, and release to the right male, right? That's cool. You got the other fucking women. They ask, and this is video. I'm gonna play it right now. I can't hold it so long. I'm gonna have to play it because they're talking about this group of women I talk about. And, I'm gonna go on. Hold on, let me before I share my screen. I gotta bring this up because this is crazy. It actually made sense.
Are men really the problem?
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta share this, y'all. So y'all look at this video. Tell me what y'all think, because these are the type of ones I'm talking about. Let me just share this.
Are men really the problem?
I stopped matchmaking. And the reason I stopped matchmaking is because I literally I can't handle female clients. The average woman doesn't really want just a good man. She doesn't want a husband. What she's really wanting are these standards or ideas that she has of what a man is supposed to be. But this is nothing what men are. This is not realistic.
It's so unrealistic because you can't have expectations like that and no preparation. You don't even study men. Like how do you want a man and you don't study even how to talk to a man? You don't even study, how men process.
You women don't have any problem expressing yourself when it's something negative to a male. But let a woman come up here and we have to have a real talk moment. All of a sudden, I don't like this show because I feel low. You don't like the show because you don't want to take direct criticism.
Your mouth, the way it's set up, your attitude and the way it's set up, you're not gonna get a nigga that's gonna pay all the bills anyway. You're not even that type to attract that type of them niggas that be having all their shit together and really gonna take care of a female and really gonna cover all the finances in the household. And girl, you just work and take your money and do blah. Them niggas require a certain level of submission or a certain level of freak in the bedroom. And some of you ain't freaky enough and you don't mind your mouth enough for a nigga to put you in a situation like that. So I'm sorry, but you won't be city growing it up this summer. You're gonna have to keep your jobs and keep paying all your bills. And this is just me being real with y'all.
Hey, you know what? So that's what I'm saying. Like, like some women, not all. I want people that don't attack me. They have these expectations. They had these expectations, right? And it's like, okay, you have these expectations. What do you bring? Because you got to bring something to the table. So we talk about what a man like, right? It's what a man like, not what a bitch like. And when I say bitch, I'm referring to the male that act like bitches because time has changed. Male want to be in the female category so bad. Let them be. Not talking about them bitches. I'm talking about what a man like. So, what a man like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like figure out what a man like as well as he has to figure out what you like, as part of communication. You know what I'm saying? It's part of coming together. You can't have your standards set up here, but you bring this much to the table. You can't. Like it's imbalance. You bring this much, but you want this much, you gotta have something to bring to the table. And it could
Mhm.
be someone's personality, it could be someone's cleaning. It's like what happened, and that's the new generation that we talk about of women. That's like they want this, but they don't want to bring nothing. What are you doing to help support a man? Like, I get it, man's supposed to take care of everything, but we talk, and we already said that society is different. You kind of damn near have two income
Right.
households, you know what I'm saying? So we got to kind of piggyback off each other, got to communicate, got to work together. But if you can't work together, you're expecting this, and you just want to bring this, don't expect no good man. You can find your bitch.
And that's I think too, where a lot of that's why I say you need to definitely figure out what person is most compatible with you, because when it comes to those women that like to be in charge, you need somebody that's okay with a man submitting. But see, that's the problem. You want a man to be a man, but you won't even allow him the space to be a man. Now, I will tell you this. I have been the type of woman, and I still am to this day. I will give you that space to be the man. But if I see that ball dropping, I'm gonna pick it back up and I'm gonna say, you know what, you can go over there. Because one thing about me, if I provide you that space to be the man, I expect you to perform. Because as your wife or as your significant other, I'm going to do what I need to do as a woman to help uplift you and support you. So I need you to be able to take it. It's like I told somebody before, most women like myself who are independent by default, not by because we want to be, but by default, we are waiting for someone to relieve us of that masculine duty. We are always on guard because we have to handle business. Like, I'm a single mother, so I have to be both in my masculine and feminine energy all the time. I want to be relieved of that masculine energy. I really do. But if I encounter someone and I'm not getting that support I need, as someone to be able to take over that masculine role, then it's like, okay, now I gotta figure out if I need to be with this person because they're not pulling that weight.
Now, when a man fall off, let's say man's going through some things, he's falling off a little bit, right? So in a relationship, whether a man fall off one point, it's your job to like help lift each other up. It's kind of
Right.
like sports staff in a relationship. So when a man is leading, the woman's I now know. So some women believe that men can like be side by side, right? And I'm always with the man is up here because man got to be a protector. He's got to protect her. You can't be here because when some shit happen, women not the bitches. They want women to go over here to protect them. That's not how it's working like that. The man has to protect. So it's always gonna be like this. The man's gonna have a few inches ahead, it's gonna lead. When the man start to fall down, whether they go through something like, it's the woman's job to be that crutch.
The support, like I told you, the man is the head, the woman is the neck. You can't. You need
I
that
said I was
support.
gonna steal
You need that support. I'm just saying.
that. I said I was gonna steal that too. I couldn't remember the term. I was gonna steal that from you. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is though, right now, with these other women, they want to be here, and the man's got to be there. They
If
want
you
to
got two heads, who's supporting?
right. Well,
It's
shit,
like,
they want to be above the man. You know what I'm saying? They want to be above the man because they got 5, 7 degrees and everything, and they're successful. So let me ask you a question:
okay.
a woman making in the high six figures, could
Okay.
they like? Let's say, man, let's say, let me throw it out there: a woman making like, let's say, 300K, right? Could she be in a relationship with a man that makes $80,000?
I can't speak for other women. I will say for myself, I could. And that's simply because, I feel like as long as the bills are getting paid, I don't care who pay them. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this though. If I feel in a sense the same way as a man would, as far as if I'm paying all of the bills, we need to come to a compromise in the household. What will work better for us as as an individual couple, when it comes to sharing the responsibility of the household and, anything outside of bills.
Right. So here's my response to that, right? I believe it can happen, just depending on the type of woman. You have to pay attention to personality when you meet people. And you can tell this off the front. A successful woman will not let you know she's successful. She will be humble.
True.
You won't even know off the top. You will find out probably later on as you go through observation. You can see her success, but she'd never, ever bring up her success.
Mm-hmm.
She can shower herself whatever she wants as long as she take care of business. She'll keep a clean home. You can tell boy she got around the house. And everything's not expensive.
Right.
What you may think is $300,000 salary may be shit, 75,000.
Look, I told people all the time, y'all be seeing me in these dresses and tell me, oh, you look like you going to brunch and all that. I said, man, that dress for $3. That,
it's how you wear it though.
Hey,
that's what people get.
Now, my purses, on the other hand, I have to splurge a little bit for myself, but
But it's presentation. So me, for example, people look at my situation, right? Like, man, how you gonna be able to do this? Do you see that? Like, I wear cargo shorts, I wear shirts, I wear a polo shirt. I don't have to wear like a $7 polo shirt, $8 polo shirt. Fuck, I go to Old Navy. I can go here. It's how I present it, how I wear it.
Right.
I make a $5 shirt look like a fucking $100 shirt. I'm not gonna wear a $100 shirt for what?
Right.
I look good in a $5 shirt and on the shirt. I look good in it. It's the same thing as this other shirt, just because it got somebody else's name on it. You know what I'm saying? So, but the problem with women who are not ready to be wives, they look at stuff like that, the tags. Not that they don't spend smart, they spend dumb. And you want a woman that's financially stable, that knows how to spend money, that is organized. Because most men, notice I said men, not the bitches. Most men want a woman that's organized financially. They can feel comfortable, kind of like leave things into their grip. You know what I'm saying? So they can handle business and take care of business and everything. That's what most men want. But go back to $300,000, $80,000 salary. You just never know what a woman makes. I think, like for example, y'all should be all stylish and everything. It looks like it's $300,000-$400,000, but you'll never talk. It's just presentation. It's just dope. Right. You know what I'm saying? Most women be like, oh, I gotta get this done. You know, they got their fucking eyelashes looking like camel all the way out here and everything. I don't judge, not gonna judge, but
like a lot of things I do myself. A lot of times I think too, some women, now don't get me wrong, like I understand wanting someone else to do it for you. Cause like with my nails, I get my nails done every 2 weeks, but that's just something I do for myself. However, I will say this, that a lot of times people are so fixated on trying to keep up with what they see on social media that they don't really think about what realistically they can afford, and then they have these expectations for men to keep their lifestyle up. And it's like, no. So like, even for me, for example, I can afford to pay for things for myself. Okay. Now, if a man come in and choose to, hey, look, let me get your nails done. Or, hey, cool. Hey, it's not a requirement though, because this is something I was doing before you. Right. So, and that's, I think, where a lot of the confusion comes in, where women feel like men are obligated to upkeep their lifestyle. It's like he's interested in you. So, for you to require him to keep up with your lifestyle is unfair. And that's just my opinion, because he's not telling you, hey, you need to pay for my haircuts, you need to pay for my car maintenance, because men, their expensive toys, or rather their expensive upkeep, is usually their car. Okay. Right. Just like for a woman, it's her body, her image, or whatever, right? So he's not requiring you to pay his car note. He's not requiring you to get him new rims. He's not requiring you to get his hair cut. He's not, you know what I'm saying? So why is it you're going to require him something that is not? It's a privilege. It's not even a necessity for survival. So why would you require him to do that for you?
That's a good point. Never thought about that. But it could also be that, hey, so no judgment, right? I just started getting pedicures, and I think since my surgery, I'm about ready to go get more
Look,
pedicures.
you need to.
I show my feet, so
More
I
men
mean,
should.
but it could be a time where, hey, let's go get some let's go get a pedicure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got you. Come on, let's go. Get your nails done in the process and stuff like that. You're right, more man should, because I like to have my toes out. I can't be out here like this, like I walk on rocks.
Don't nobody want their sheets cut up.
But I cut you under the sheets of my feet.
You start a fire under there.
You see, we cuddle together, rub my feet up, my feet rub because she's like, is that sad people? So, but the expectations that women have, like you just mentioned it, the expectations you've been doing on your own. So now when women encounter a guy, they want to relinquish those expectations they have as far as they've been doing their hair, nails done. Now they want to relinquish those things over to the guy immediately. Like,
Right.
here, you do this, like, but the women that's not ready to be wise, I'm asking, they have so much expectations what a man's supposed to do. What are you doing? How do you emotionally support me? That's me personally. That's something I'm interested in.
Because
It's
here's
also
the thing, booty and boobs ain't gonna cut it. They can get booty and boobs from anywhere.
anywhere, right? Anyway, I don't care if you got. You know what? I am tired of some of the people I follow, and I now log into Instagram. I see his booty. It's like, come on, you got to have something else to offer, more than just booty and breasts, and that's what these men are distracted with. And
Right.
then they come out later like, oh man, this booty and breast, this is so boring. She has no personality. She does not know how to take care of bills. She can't do shit. It gets old.
Right. And that's the funny thing. I think I had that conversation with somebody earlier today. They were talking about heavier set women, right? Okay. So I explained to this person, I said, well, I wouldn't want to be with someone that put physical image to the highest regard, knowing that stuff fades. Over time, your looks fade. And so I'm like, well, and he tried to justify it saying, well, why you think men cheat? I said, hold up, I gotta backtrack. Morals is what make people cheat. It has nothing to do with what happens in your household. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Because there have been times I've been purely miserable, and it never crossed my mind to step outside of my relationship. It never crossed my mind. So I know that it's more of a choice than it is anything else. People try to use excuses to justify their choice in cheating. So, he tried to say, oh, well, it's a contributing factor. I said, okay, if physical attraction is the thing that makes you happy, right? And you're saying that will make you go out and cheat. I said, what if I told you had to make $300K? Because she tried to justify saying, well, you can change your weight. I said, okay, you can change your income. If I required you to that's the same thing that you're putting on a woman, as you know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's something that doesn't mean, I mean, yes, physical attraction initially gets you in the door, but you need to have that substance, because otherwise you're going to constantly be in search of something, because again, looks fade. Women have children, our bodies change. So,
But that's where you gotta learn to be supportive, and now you gotta learn how to eat. Because I know it's hard with all the stuff,
right.
but you gotta be supportive.
And then I look at it this way. What if you have a medical condition? What if something happens where you can't exercise? So you're telling me you're going to leave someone because of their physical attributes that are no longer to your liking?
That's why you
I don't
love.
want that type of person in my life.
That's why you love unconditionally.
Right.
That's pretty important. That's why when you talk to people, you fall in love more with the personality than what somebody looks like. That'd be dope. And I know that sounds too mature. Took me a while to catch on. But when you fall and you can be around somebody that with a personality, nothing else starts to really matter. You support each other up.
Right. Especially when you're falling in love with that person from the inside. And I explain to people all the time, I can confidently say that my insides are more beautiful than my outer exterior. So whomever gets me it's gonna be a bonus because I look good. And that's why I tell people I want it to be a bonus because I look good, not because that's the reason why you're here. Because what if something happens? Any accident could happen to where, what if, like, this one man, I'll never forget this image. This man's wife got burned up, and he was still happy, taking pictures with her, made her feel absolutely beautiful about herself. And people kept saying, well, why are you still with her? She's all disformed. And he was like, I didn't fall in love with her image. I fell in love with her. And that's the type of love that we all need.
Right. Like, that's ignorant as hell. You say that. What up, Mac? What's going on? He says he's in live with us. You know what? And that's the thing. That's why people say it's weird. But I'm like, if you fall in love with somebody's personality,
right,
nothing else really matters. Like, what matters is that we can laugh when we watch this show.
Right.
Come on, babe. That's deep love. And I think that people fall in love based on the outside, which is why most relationships fail. But one thing I want to say, women can't, like, be in war with the men all the time. Like, some women want to be in war with men all the time. He's a good man, not the bitches. They want to. I want to read this comment right here. I think. Let's see that. When someone appreciates you and loves your personality, your heart, you start to glow on the outside. Yes, that's all it's getting to. That's what it is. The glow. Personality. Can we talk about this? Shit, can we talk about sports? Can we talk about what you like? What are you watching on TV on Netflix that I can sit down and watch that I gotta be open minded to? You know what I'm saying? Can we sit there and watch together? So we get to a point where, say you like a show on Netflix, I come in and I'm like, what you watching? So I'm gonna be open minded watching. I start to get into it, right? But I know I can't go to the fourth episode because you ain't seen it. You ain't off work yet. I can't see it because this is our show we watch together. You know what I'm saying? That's what love is. Like, damn, I can watch season 4. Babe, what time you gonna work? You know what I'm saying? But it's the little stuff that matters like that we get into. It ain't because, she looks beautiful on the outside. No, it's because we are developing something. So we're developing similarity as we go on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the new generation women is coming up, or women that thinks differently. They so bought up in what man's supposed to do that we forget about the little stuff in between, like the shows we can watch together, we can enjoy. The little stuff, a walk in the park.
That's cheating if you watch it by yourself. No, look, the thing with cheating for me is if you get food without me, we're gonna have a problem.
I couldn't drink. I don't want to spit my stuff out. So
we have a whole problem.
But you see, that's dope. We go out to our favorite restaurant. Hey, let's go out to our favorite restaurant. This is stuff in a relationship that people do not talk about. It's always miserable. It's always different. And people, this is what I think of diminish cheating and diminish everything in relationship. Relationship gonna have its problems. That's just what it is. It's just life. But this is what diminish the cheating and everything. When you're open-minded and you can communicate. Seems simple, right? When you're open-minded, you can communicate. I just say to share shows together. You share restaurants together. You know, maybe you want to go to a ball game with me. We watch a couple of games. Maybe you want to go dance. I can go out there and make a fool out of myself. But you can laugh at me. The point is, we're having fun. We're enjoying life. You live once. I think people forget to realize that. You live one time. Me, I settled in so many relationships where I just settled hoping to have certain things happen, hoping to have certain things form. But I can't just sit up here and just talk bad about those women, because some of those women that I speak about, I've settled for. And I'm like, man, I hope we can have this together, whatever. And so then, like, I ain't lie to you. So when I was younger, I always like, man, I want to be married, have a wife, 3 kids, or however many kids, whatever. So I forced that in like a lot of relationships I've been, I forced that thing. And I encountered these women that we're talking about, and I put myself out there for people that I'm like, I gave out so much, and I'm like, I just got so little.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This was like, damn, why the fuck am I doing that? But it's the little things that people can learn to do together and develop with each other that means a lot. Whether it's like Chinese food on Friday. Hey babe, it's Chinese Friday. What we eating? What kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the little things like that. So how can a couple get to that? Think about the couples you know. Can they talk like that? Can they joke like that?
Well, and it's essentially, I know for me, a lot of people want their best friend. And I think that that's where a lot of women have a disconnect. They're not trying to be a hell, female on female friendships are not equal these days. Like we've had a friend group that has shrunk in size so significantly because you have a lot of women with this mindset that it's me, and my feelings, and only my feelings are valid. Like your feelings, I'm whatever. Like I literally had a friend get upset with me because I couldn't make one event out of all the events I've ever made. I couldn't make one event because it fell on my birthday. And more so because I'm just like, okay, well, what about all the times that you weren't there for me in my other big events? It really destroyed certain parts of me as your friend to make me feel like, okay, well, she doesn't care enough about me, you know what I'm saying, to be there. But I never stopped being her friend because of that. But because she completely stopped talking to me, it just let me know what place I was in that person's life. And
That's
so
selfish.
right, it's very selfish. And the fact that, still it still never registered to her. She even brought it up like a year later, talking about, hey, you didn't show up and this is how I felt about it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? It wasn't my intentions to make you feel that way. However, I let you know ahead of time that I had my own event to go
What's
to.
her name so I can put all a message?
I'm not
All
doing that.
all men can avoid her.
Not
What's
doing
her
that.
name?
Well, she's married now, but my thing is like, I
Oh
mean,
no, she got
needless
married.
to say, needless to say, I mean, there's always someone for everybody, and maybe he caters to her needs of wanting to be the center of attention, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But I know as a person for myself, this is why I tell people, I let people be who they are, and I choose if I want to participate or not.
Right.
And that's just kind of even what it is, even with dating. I let people love and care for people, how they going to show me how you operate. And I'll let you know if it's conducive for my needs. And if it's not, then I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to, because there have been good guys I've encountered, but being a good guy isn't enough. It looks good on paper, but you have, just like I tell people all the time, I am a boiler template for everybody. Like looking at my social media and looking at how I operate, I'm a wife. But I'm only somebody's wife. I'm not a wife for everybody. I can be a wife in that role for for anybody, but actually having a true best friend, somebody that only you can relate to, I'm not that person for every man. And that's okay.
It's gotta be friendship though. Because friendship, when you develop friendship, you develop understanding, right? You develop some type of understanding. And most women these days, most guys these days too, but most women, a lot of women don't want to develop that friendship. I think that's important. You get to know people. You know what I'm saying? So when you had this conversation about the word dating, dating is an interview. Dating is an interview. Let's come
Get you
on
some
here.
anxiety.
Yeah, like, oh my God, we're going on a date. Oh shit. Like, what I'm gonna do? You sit at the table and you be like, so what brings you here? Why you not dating? No, men use those fake ass, and men do it a lot and they try to get in your drawers. And women act like, I just come on now. Be friends, be real. Because when I go out, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say the ignorant shit that I say, like on shows. You know, I'm gonna do what I do, and you gotta deal with it. Um,
Or not.
or not exactly. A girl I think I told this story. I don't know if I said it. Talking to this lady one time, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna come out my own hot sauce. And she was like, what is that? I said, Hurricane Katrina. And she was like, I was immature. And I was like, the hot sauce is gonna be a fucking category 5. That's what I mean. She was like, no, that's not right. And she started talking to me. I'm like, well, this is how the fuck I talk. And if you don't like it, and you don't have a sense of humor, then so be it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, come out with some hot sauce. It's gonna be exquisite. I don't fucking talk like that. Accept me for who I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect, but I think that, like we said, the new generation, the women that are not ready to be wives, have all these expectations, and the man's supposed to fill them, and they just gonna sit back and sit and not do nothing.
Right. Right.
And it still takes a team.
It's a contradiction to what, like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's like they're contradicting themselves when they say, oh, well, I want a man to pay all the bills, but I'm not a slave. I can't work. I'm not gonna do this and that for the house. It's just like, well, what do you expect him to do then? I mean, if you're not gonna be paying any of the bills and you don't expect to be doing anything in the household, so you just there.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Like that whole thing. Teamwork makes the dream work. If you're not gonna be a good teammate and you're gonna be an unruly teammate, you're not gonna get your ass to the bench. You're gonna get fired.
Hello.
Get your ass out of the stadium, and that's why. So I'm bringing this. I wrote this damn name to Kevin Samuel. You know what I'm saying? No, God bless his soul. He's not here with us no more. I watched a lot of his shows. I had to go back and watch his shows because I'm like, people said that he attacked women all the time. So I went back and I watched some shows like way back from Kevin Samuels, and what I'm saying about men, he attacked men. So there's one lady in particular, nice lady. She's been with her guy for like about 4 or 5 years, like that, I believe. And then he wasn't talking about marriage, like his goals. It sounded like he wanted to be a player. You know what I'm saying? She was nice, sweetheart. She had no kids, and Kevin told her, "Don't settle. Just settle for a boy. He's a boy. I think he's in the background." And he got offended, and he told him, "You are a boy." I told him, "Don't settle for a boy." It don't take that long to figure out if you're gonna be with somebody the rest of their life. Nice woman, good career, no kids, and you want to keep her to the side so you can go out and appease other women. You're a boy.
Yeah.
So that fella didn't like that. It was all sorts of commotion, and I think that just like he didn't like that comment when you talk about certain women who gets up and say what they ain't doing, because some women's gonna show they were just loud, like it was annoying. I think people sit and watch like little scripts for a few minutes, but you go back and watch the show, they're long, they're like over an hour long. But you go back and watch some stuff that some of these women say, and it's the young one is like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you from my perspective when it comes to the KS situation. I do think that he was not in a position to give anybody advice because he had not worked on himself. Right. And the reason why I say that is because even though you can give out good information, when you have when you're sending it out and from a place of hurt, it can really come off as cruel. And I think that my thing is this, people will like, oh, well, he did it to men too. Well, he shouldn't have done it to anybody. He shouldn't have. There are things that you can say to get your point across without being a dick. And I say that, huh?
Some people need to hear the harsh way because people are different.
I mean, you can still say it in a harsh way, but I mean, or not necessarily the harsh way, but you can be blunt and honest with people. Like a lot of people take what I tell them as me being mean, or and typically it's because I just don't sugarcoat anything with anybody. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear because it feels good to you, or it makes it more digestible. No, you sometimes need to hear it because you need to know that you ain't the world's greatest type of situation. Like, okay, so prime example with this guy talking about, oh, well, a woman being fat or whatever the case may be and him cheating or whatever. I'm like, well, technically you're not really to standard to even have that type of requirement anyway. Like, you're not average height. You're not even aesthetic, like your looks. You're not even average what is required. So for you to, and it's not to say that your requirement is wrong. You, by all means, go for what you want. But at the same time, just like KS has been trying to say, be more realistic with your expectations. You can't sit here and say, I require a woman to be fit and good looking and
You weigh
You're
400.
not even average. So, but I say all that to say, I think that, even with him, he should not have had a platform that I think, and this is where people, I guess, misconstrue what was really going on. So I have an interview that I can share with you where you can see the clear hurt on this man's face when he were asked questions about himself and his past. The problem I think most people are not really realizing is when he was attacking black men have a problem with supporting each other. And that has become a big problem. Whereas black women, even though we don't do it as much, to the extent of where we should, we still support each other when we're being attacked. And I think that's where the disconnect is. They're like, well, why y'all didn't say nothing when they were, well, why didn't y'all say nothing when he was attacking y'all? We were just defending ourselves because he's attacking us at this point. Now I will say this, some of his information is, was truthful. But you can't have a bunch of criticism and only sprinkle in a few good notes. You see what I'm saying? I think that's where the problem was, even in his platform, where, it was like, oh, I'm a degrade people, but I'm gonna only sprinkle a little constructive criticism and not just cruel criticism.
Well, see, that's why I had to go back to the show, because he gave a lot of women props. The thing is, when people share stuff, they share bits and pieces. I've seen shows where he gave women props and almost the respect, and those are women that carry themselves in that manner. Now, I agree, he came from hurt. However, some of the stuff he said was kind of cruel. It's funny. It was kind of cruel, but sometimes the truth hurts. But a lot of women have gone on this show. People have met on his show and became engaged and married from viewing his show. I think some of the stuff, like, it comes. I heard some things he said, and I'm like, damn, he said that. But like, the blunt truth is what people need to hear, and then to hear like the uproar after he died, kind of show the tasteless class that some women have, because, oh, I'm glad he's dead, or I'm glad it like.
But hold up, Jay. I will say this. I have to say this, and although I don't agree with the whole celebration of his death, I will say this. If you disrespect me, you cannot limit how I disrespect you back.
If you're a person of God, that is false.
Very true. But what I'm saying is, for the average person who is not God-fearing, or, you know what I'm saying, spiritual or whatever, otherwise, you cannot control how someone reacts to your disrespect. If you do something to somebody, you can't control how they react in that situation.
I don't think it's like normal to go on anything and celebrate somebody's death unless.
And I don't think they were celebrating his death. I think they were celebrating, or they wasn't celebrating. They were just saying how ironic it was that he really ended up in the same way he was saying that black women would end up.
You know what? Not that. I didn't see that. I saw women actually celebrating the fact that. Here's the thing. Me and you, we can like give advice, right? And we can give the same type of advice. It's gonna come out different. Me and you are different. We give our advice different ways. We can say the same thing.
Woman and man. So
right. So you're gonna be blunt, and your stuff come out blunt and it's truthful. Mine be blunt, and they come out a little different, a little ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Not like Kevin Samuels, but it's gonna come out a little ignorant. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be like, you gotta be ready for it. It's like,
I mean, I do agree. People should have thicker skin. I do agree with that. Because it will, how can I say, it'll make for the information that you're receiving that much more, like, you'll be able to receive it better if you had thicker skin, versus someone that is very sensitive, they might not hear anything that you're telling them because you're coming at them bluntly, but you're trying to give them information and they're not receiving it in a way. That's why I say too, you have to be careful about, even when you're having these types of platforms, you got to know your audience. But here's the other problem with where a lot of us had a problem with KS. He saw how the belligerent and ignorant way that he was twisting, Black women to be, and saw that it was getting him more views, it was getting him money, and he started really. And I look, don't get me wrong, genius marketing on his end, kudos, but it also made our society more divisive, and that's the problem I have.
Here's the problem with that, right? And let me tell you about Black people, and I'm gonna be blunt. I'm always blunt. People don't like it. We don't support a positive like platform,
and that's a problem.
That's a problem. But you would go to this man platform that people, Black women are like, so you want to go attack. But if I'm saying it's a platform where we're talking positive about women, Black women, white women, Hispanic, nobody's gonna come up fucking just look at that shit. You know why? Because it don't got negative. You can't put it on World Star. They're gonna go support the other shit when you've been talking.
Why I think? Because we are all in still a place of hurt. I think that's why. We are all still in a place of hurt, and we want someone to validate our hurt. So he touched a lot of hurt people by feeding into that same hurt. You see what I'm saying?
But I don't get it. This is why businesses. What's up? I see Dame's in the building, and I actually had a conversation with Dame on rapper. Shout out to him, Chicago's finest. I had a conversation about us supporting each other, right? Mm-hmm. So you can open up a Black restaurant, right? You can open up in a Black neighborhood. People still gonna flock to your Korean stores, to the Arabs, gas station. They're gonna still go to those places. We don't support each other. So now, as people, me specifically, I'm all about diversity. What appeals to the people? Now, the skin color. Because skin color to me is a slavery term. What appeals to us Americans? You live in the fucking America, you're American, African American, European American, whatever, you're fucking in America. What appeals to people? Because the thing is, we both have our platforms. We both cross each other platforms. We have to think what appeals to the people. You want to help Black businesses and stuff on the way. But what appeals to the people? Because you already know, Peach Talk Girl, Life Ground Blow Up. People gonna have something negative to say, and it's gonna be our own. It's gonna be like, oh, she thinks she all that, whatever. How that little Peach talks that shit and all that. That bitch, that's how women talk. That bitch thinks she all that. That Peach, shit, all that. They will tell you
that anyway. And I just started this, so they say that anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Why do we like to tear each other down piece to piece? Why? And it's crazy. So now he gets his platform, Kevin Samuel. He does his thing, and he's blunt. When you want to hear the truth, not as blunt. Like you said, it's a marketing genius. Shit. I was on the shows, it's like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people live seeing this thing. And the numbers is going up, and people are commenting. People are going on the show. They want to be on the show. But we could do a show next week right now. Let's say we do a show next week, you and I. You want to be a guest? Let's talk about relationships, blah, blah, blah. How many people do you think if we advertise is going to get on here because we're not talking negative shit and calling I call men bitches. Not men, but I call bitches men that are not real men. Not all men. The men that are dressing in women clothing and shit like that, and let women lead and depend on them are bitches. So I guess as long as I keep referring to them as bitches, you probably have been on here like, man, dog, well, my bitch. So what? My girl paid the bills and everything. Well, you a bitch. They might get some more views on YouTube next week, the next show. They might come on here deep. Man, why you calling men bitches? Because you dressed in fucking leggings. You dressed in leggings. And then your woman is doing everything, and you're not taking the pressure off her. So now she's become masculine.
Right.
Because you're being a bitch and let her do everything.
Right.
Where does that work? But then people hear my talk and hear that. Now I got challenges, right? They're going to come out the woods. I got to kill this motherfucker. I got to show this motherfucker thing. I got to show his ass. And that's what we respond to, negativity. But they listen to the word bitch and they're referring to all men, not listen to the fact that I'm referring to those men who put women in bind, put women in a financial strain, and wear women out and be tired.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I say all the time, a hit dog a holler. I always tell people, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. That's my motto. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Why are you getting offended? Why are you getting upset? Because you know what I'm saying? Like, my thing was, like, when KS would say certain things, he would say single mothers. I'm in that category. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have, you see what I'm saying? So that was my problem with that. You put single mothers in the same category, saying that we weren't good enough. We were only good enough to be side chicks. Like, that right there is why it's a problem with me dating now. I even have single fathers treating me like I'm a side chick. I'm like, what kind of shit is this?
But it's marketing, like one way, like you just said, it's marketing. Like, he got these women on there, they feed into that bullshit.
But that's the problem though. Now you run into the situation. That's why I tell people, all attention ain't good attention. All money ain't good money. Like, you are now creating an environment where it's 10 times worse than what it was before. So I already had people prejudging me when they see I got 3 kids, but not knowing I was previously married. You see what I'm saying? And now you're coming in, treating me as if I'm what this man has said. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to put, now in your mind, you have put me in a category, oh, well, I'm not going to take her seriously. So now it makes it that much harder for me to even take you seriously, because now you have a mindset of, oh, I'm just going to use her for what I'm going to use her for and be done with it.
Let me tell you what he allowed to do with his bluntness and his over view of points. What he did is allowed you and I to eliminate the bad ones. So let me give you an example. I'm going to so the women that
what cost though?
Huh?
But what it cost? At what cost though?
Hold on.
Because it's different when it's a man versus a woman, because a woman sometimes don't know until after she's already invested time, her body, her energy, her money.
Example. I was in the live one day, and this man tried to challenge you. If he ever tried to holler at you, you already know, oh, that's the motherfucker that was talking red flag X, right? He made it not necessarily harder for you. A real man is not going to judge you, but regardless of what he says, a real man is not by the judge, period. Only God can judge, for once. Let me tell you the other hand. 2, the women that, and women that had you can have your opinion, but the women that had something negative to say something about the dead, that harsh that I've read, it's like you X them out. You have no heart. It's like you got to learn how to ignore people. Well, even they saying something wrong, whether it's him or anybody else, you got to learn to put the blinders on. This world's 2022. You can't slow down your grind because somebody said this or somebody said something on Peace Talk. You can't slow down shit. I'm doing something good. I'm being talked about. What he did to me is those people that got some negative vibes, negative thing to say, they had no control. I know a few people on my friends list. I'm like, damn, I didn't really think like this. They so cruel or whatever. And they so like emotional for no reason. This is the God, the sun shining right here. God gave us another day of life because He knows that shit's coming down. You know what I'm saying? You take advantage. But those people that entertain the BS, want to go all on a limb and say F him or F her, I swear away from negativity. If somebody was to come and say, I watch Peace Talk and she know the fact she be saying just be hated for no reason, me personally, I'm gonna fucking like nicely polite, I'm X them out my life, because now you have no reason to say these things you're saying about Peace Talk. You got this negative energy, and I don't want to be surrounded by negative energy. So, clip, you go.
Well, and I will say this too. I think a lot of, and this is, I'm gonna tell you, I have dark humor, so I'm not gonna lie. There have been some things that they've said in his absence that was like hilarious as hell to me. I'm sorry.
It was funny.
The interview, tell my son, now before we let you through these gates, you told this woman that she was.
I saw that one. And I had to laugh.
I'm sorry, it was funny. It was funny, and then after it cut off, they was like, "Okay, we'll give you a call," and it was just like, So I think too, some people even feel offended with that. But I'm gonna tell you what was the worst thing for me was when a man asked me or talked about the whole Kevin Samuels thing and was like, well, and I was like, oh, okay. he said, "Oh, did you know he died?" I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, in other news, my child, this. And so the guy was like, "Oh, well, why you acting like that? Y'all mad." I said, "No, I just it's like any other celebrity. Oh my God, such and such." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, any other news, I got other stuff I'm doing. This person is not a family member. This person doesn't directly affect my paycheck. So I'm supposed to be crying."
My paycheck. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, that's what I said. The joke sign my check. I'm like, oh my God.
I was like, oh Jesus.
Look, Jesus.
My money. I mean, he's dead. No.
Oh Lord. You said, look, what we do at funerals. Oh, take me with you.
Oh, sign his paychecks, please. Put it in his good hands and move it.
That's funny. Don't joke, Jay.
Oh shit, I'm about to down live, y'all. No. Oh, shit. So some people were bent up too tight that about his like past. And I don't wish nothing bad to nobody, Shout out to him. I think he said some harsh things, but I think he did make people more alert of the bullshit because especially men who think they can go talk to other women that way. And when you encounter that, you already know, oh, yeah, he's judging, cut him off. A real man is not going to look at a woman's situation or anything about her past and judge her. A real man is going to accept that. People done shit in their past. I've done stuff in my past. People done stuff in their past. We're not perfect. We got all stuff that we made mistakes. As long as you realize you made a mistake, you learn from it, and you can grow from it, that's all that matters. So, and I think that even with like men talking to women talking to men, because right now, I think the women that are not ready to be wives, they do a lot of judging, but also men have come to judge too. But it's judging on both sides. It's like a big war. I think we're never gonna find happiness as long as we categorize people and put them in this weird situations.
But like you also said, he did bring attention to those women that do have those unrealistic expectations. And I tell people all the time, don't expect more than what you're willing to give. Now, if you get more, that's a bonus. But you can't realistically sit here and require somebody to have a certain type of expectation that you expect them to pay all the bills and come home and do everything else and you not do nothing. I mean, that's unrealistic. You can't. It's a partnership. You both have to work at it.
I'll read this. People with accountability issues are the main ones who had a problem with everything KS said. Accountability, and that's what thing. People with that's what I'm glad that was said. It wasn't all women, and I know he's like single women, whatever. It's those that have accountability issues. People who can't own up. Say, I made mistakes. I ain't gonna say like I'm all super and everything. I made mistakes. The thing is, what makes me respect people more, like, hey, this is me. These are the mistakes I made. This is how I'm countering my mistakes. This is what I got going in my life. These are my goals. These are my dreams. This is how I'm gonna affect the world. Because deep down, we gonna affect the world. You know what I'm saying? When we're doing life grind and as we start to grow, whatever. I know you do a peace talk. You come with us on the road. We feed families. We do everything. Like we have hearts, and I think that's what people forget when they meet people. Like what kind of heart you got?
Right.
What do you want to do? That's what we need to get to. Like what kind of heart do you have?
Right.
Like a woman or a man that has a heart to give to people, what they bring into a relationship 9 times out of 10. Like I think the other day, woman coming to the lobby, she's like, I lost my job. Do you have any shelters that you can direct me to? Normally people say some stuff like, no, we don't. So what I did, I remember calling a place in Indiana that has shelters. I called all around for her, and I was like, what you got till Friday? I want to ask him human because I know it's tough. She's like, I can make it. I'm like, look, we normally don't do this. I got $5 in my pocket. That's all I got. I get more, but here, I know $5 can do a lot. Here you go, $5 right here. You know what I'm saying? And I felt bad, and to be in situations like that, I want to get emotional right now. But to see people who like that, it's like, damn, that could be me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can be like looking for a shelter. That's people. And that's the reason why I think that when you meet people in relationships, you got to find out, are they going to give like you give it to that person who don't have it? They're going to bring that same energy to a relationship.
They don't have compassion. You have to, that
Yeah.
is very important. And I think that's where a lot of women have started not having. They are starting to not they're starting to lack that compassion. Like they feel like, oh, I'm a human being, but you're not a human being. You're a chick. You're supposed to do this for me, but I'm not supposed to do anything for you because you're supposed to think about me, 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 me. That's why I say I don't think even with the women that's coming up that they're in a selfish mindset at this point. So a lot of them aren't prepared to be wives because with becoming a significant other or a spouse, you have to think about the other person. Like even and it's like I think we've hit on it before. It's an even energy exchange. The man is supposed to think about you and you're supposed to think about him. Now, when you run into a situation where you're constantly thinking about him and he's only thinking about himself, then it's like, okay, well, what about me? Then that's when you have to worry and say, you know what, maybe this person isn't a good fit for me. But and vice versa, when it comes to a man, if you are always constantly caring about this woman and she is only caring about me, 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 this is what and you don't have that support, then you need to reconsider, is this the type of person that I need to be with? And a lot of times we waste time thinking because, oh, this person technically looks good on paper. They have the image. They, what I'm saying, take care of their own business or whatever the case may be, that looks good to everyone else outside of it. But inside that relationship, you have to understand what your needs are and if that person is fulfilling those.
Figure out what your needs are, and that person's fulfilling those. That's pretty man, that sums everything up. I think we need to all learn. Wow. On that note. Figure out what are your needs? Yeah, that's cool. Damn. I don't think I can counter. Yeah, so figure out what the needs are. And I think you learn that when you meet somebody and you're friends, you kind of figure out it's all in terms of communication and listening. Listening, because a woman, I think when you meet them, they talk about things, and a real man will track certain things, certain keywords and stuff like that, and they can deliver later. But a man, like you say, that's all about what he wants and not really interested. He ain't hearing shit, whatever he's doing. He want to do
Right.
whatever. So that's what it is, though. So, man, that sums up. You kind of made my brain go like, man, learn what they want. I have another idea for another topic too.
Mm-hmm.
For our next show. Oh, learning what the opposite sex needs are. Learning what a woman needs are specifically.
Right.
Learning what a man needs are. Let me write that down. You know I'm gonna forget. Let me write that down. Oh, learning the needs of the opposite sex. What you think about that?
That's a good topic. Most are confused about their needs. Exactly. I mean, a lot of people just haven't done the work. That's really what it is. That's why I say, even with the whole KS thing, he was giving out information and people were receiving it. He was giving out from a place of hurt, and people that were hurt were receiving it from a place of hurt. They haven't really done the work to figure out what it is they truly need and, how to move forward from being hurt.
You just stated that perfectly. He gave it out in a hurtful manner, which if he wasn't hurt and he gave it out that way, but you kind of know the people that had accountability issues receiving it or that was hurt, you kind of knew they was coming from. And then all the responses, because some women was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I don't think when he like single mothers, I think that he like when I saw some of the shows and he referred to single mothers, I think it was those single mothers that like, so it was this one clip. I gotta send it to you. There's one single mother, right? She had 3 kids, maybe 4, and she met this amazing guy. Guy was pretty dope. They're talking, whatever, and she's like, "Oh, you gotta have this, you gotta have that." Like treating him like he was willing to accept their kids they dated, And then she just flipped it on him like, you need to start doing this, you need to start doing that. Like, start being a total bitch. This is a single man with no kids that's willing to take on yours. And if you want to have more and willing to work and provide. And she was being a total, I'm not being like total asshole towards him. Your money ain't gonna be enough. You gotta do this, you gotta do more. She's basically degrading him. And this is a video, and I thought it was scripted. I'm coming to find out the video wasn't scripted. Now I did the research. I'm like, wow, there's people that exist like this where.
So in that scenario, a wife would really be like, well, baby, I understand we making this much collectively. What can we do to increase our what we got going on? You know what I'm saying? Like what do you want? What do you think I should do? What can we do?
Exactly.
Not go, oh, you gotta make more because this ain't gonna do nothing. And you did it. Nah.
That's a wife you just said. That's a wife. That's what they perfectly said. Think if I can give you dabs, virtual, like, and that's nothing else need to be said. It's all about communication and how you deliver it. Not well, when we do this is like, babe, like you just said, I can't say it no better than what you just said. That's the difference between a wife and a little ass girl.
Right.
Bingo. And on that note, I'm gonna end it just like on that because that just like let's take. I can't even come back on that. I can't. You said it all. His wife, little ass girl.
You're so silly.
On that note, y'all think I've been tuned in, you know what I'm saying? For the people that's on here and or the people that may view the show in the future think I'm too harsh by referring to man, some of these men as bitches because they're not man, then so be it. It is what it is. Real men act like real men, and those men that pretend to be men are bitches that put this load on women. And for the women who out there that actually got this wives characteristics, appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? You got those scallywags. You're not appreciated. Go work on yourself because there's some work need to be. I had to work on myself too. I was at one point in the bitch category. I had to upgrade myself. Upgrade. You know what I'm saying? Pieces appreciate you as always. It's ChiLanta, y'all. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.